So there's a battle brewing in Florida between Governor Ron DeSantis and the Republican-controlled legislature. They're at odds over a bill about a crackdown on illegal immigration, basically how to do it and who should be in control over it. Governor Ron DeSantis vowing to veto that bill, saying it's weak. It will transfer immigration power to a bureaucracy. You'll recall DeSantis was one of the first governors to take a stand and send illegal immigrants from Florida over to a blue state. Remember that? That went well. Eventually making it a top priority in this year's presidential election, maybe helping deliver the presidency to Donald Trump. Joining us now to discuss this when where they're at right now locally is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor, great to see you. Can you tell everyone at home what's going on between you and your fellow Republicans in the legislature?
Sure, Brian. I called a few weeks ago for a special session of the Florida legislature to address this issue of illegal immigration and specifically how we could help the Trump administration, based on his executive orders, enforce immigration laws and increase the number of illegal aliens that we're removing from the state of Florida. They have programs that our local and state government can enter into. We want all of our governments to be into that. We also have people that can be deputized by ICE to act as immigration agents. So there's a huge range of possibilities here to be able to do this and finally do it right. And I know President Trump is fully committed to honoring his campaign promise to enact the largest deportation program in American history. But when I called for that, even though our voters really wanted to do it, the leaders of the legislature said it was premature, and one of them even said that it was a stunt. So they didn't want to do this at all. The problem is the voters wanted them to. So they had pressure to show up and do it. But instead of doing the proposals that we had, which would actually work, they did a piece of legislation which would actually undercut our ability to respond. They take away all the powers of the governor and the different state agencies that are currently in the fight, and they transfer it to the Commissioner of Agriculture. But as you know, Brian, agriculture has been a magnet for illegal foreign labor. And they also bar any involvement with ICE unless you do a Mother May I from the Commissioner of Agriculture. So what it does is it masquerades as an enforcement bill, but it makes Florida a de facto sanctuary state. Final point is just this. I've never seen a more negative reaction for anything the Florida legislature has done from our grassroots than I have seeing how they've done this bill. It's almost unanimous. People want this problem solved once and for all. My set of proposals will do it. Their set of proposals will make the problem worse. And
we can put them on the screen while we talk. But, you know, Governor, just researching and getting ready for the segment, it seems personal. It seems like you killed the Agriculture Commissioner's $300 million water bill. The House Speaker says he tried to call you, didn't return his call. So is this personal amongst Republicans? And are they running to President Trump to referee it?
So you have to ask them, but I can tell you this, Brian, when you get elected to office, you have a responsibility to do what's in the best interest of the people that put you there. You shouldn't worry about phone calls. You shouldn't worry about these other things. It's not about you. It's not about these personalities. It's not about turf war. It's about getting the job done. So I clearly have a set of proposals that have strong support from the people that elected us. And, oh, by the way, are consistent with the promises that we made. And I think, you know, my view is if you want to be weak on this and you want to run that way, I don't think you'll get elected. But if you do and you do it, hey, what am I going to do? But these guys run as being tough on this. And then when given the opportunity to seize this moment and really deliver history hand in hand with the Trump administration, they squish out and they do something like this. But I do think some of them may be operating more on their own personal agendas. That's possible. But that would help explain why you would do such a stinker bill. Focus on the people. We're not here. It's not about me or the legislature. It's about them.
And, Governor, you're going to veto this thing. And even though they have a supermajority, it might be trying to override it. Judge by what I see, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Hopefully they'll come across, because this seems to be a family fight. If I could ask you something else that you did that really stood out is take it on Disney. When they decided to condemn your legislation, you called them out. You told them, forget your autonomous status. People thought, Governor, you're crazy. Don't take on this behemoth. You did. You won. And I think it's directly related to what President Trump's experiencing right now. First, he beats ABC, I think, for $15 million, and they pay out. And then he beats Meta, Facebook, for $25 million, they pay out. He's about to beat CBS because he's suing 60 Minutes over that abomination of an interview with Kamala Harris where they edited to make her look good. They're about to pay out. I believe this all stemmed from you taking on Disney. Are you under that belief? Do you think it germinates back to that?
Well, I think we were the first to really, and Disney's the 800-pound gorilla in Florida, but we had to do what was right, stand up for kids. We don't want gender ideology imposed. We did remove their special control over this local government, and now we run it with governor appointees. And guess what? They don't have the special privileges, but they're still investing billions of dollars when people said Disney was going to leave Florida. We also did things, Brian, like crack down on ESG. We took $2 billion away from BlackRock in terms of managing our pension fund. So we stood up. We showed that we were on the side of the people. We were successful, and it looks like Donald Trump's having great success as well.
And you guys are back on the same page. You guys fight it out, but then you hug it out, which is pretty much tradition, the way he does things. Look at Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, and that Ted Cruz is one of his biggest advocates, and their gloves were off when they were competing, just like you guys were. Governor, thanks so much. Great to see you. Hope you guys can resolve this thing.
We'll get it done. Thanks, Brian.
You got it.